Hi guys, Raquel here again in front of you for a Bible study. So today is Sunday and I am recording this video on Sunday and putting this video up on Sunday. And I'm making a point about that because consistency is my word. Consistency is how I plan to walk through this year, and how God is pushing me forward through this year. And so today being Sunday, I was almost very close to not doing it and cutting this task out of the task that I should be consistent with. But God showed me a calendar that ended on Sunday. Normally most calendars end on Saturday, but this calendar ended on Sunday, and it just reminded me that I could still be consistent in this task. And so here I am with you all again with Bible study. And so, as I said before, this Bible study is my interpretation of Scripture and how God has led me to the understanding of the Word. And so I encourage you to read further. The Scripture that I am going to focus on today is actually one verse, and that's kind of strange to do a Bible study on one verse, but I believe it's going to work for us today. And so the verse is Deuteronomy 4:42. Nope, Deuteronomy 4:29 is the verse. And I want to read it in two different versions. It's very similar. The versions are written very similarly, but it's a little differences in them. And so since it's only one verse, why not? So here's the NIV version that says, "But if from there you seek the Lord your God, you will find him if you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul." And then the NLT version says, "But from there you will search again for the Lord your God, and if you search for him with all your heart and soul, you will find him." And so the major difference between the two is seek and search. And I think the importance of just hearing both of those is there's a task for you to be doing. This, the person who is speaking, which I didn't say is Moses, is saying do something, and the doing something is the seeking and the searching. But before we move forward, I wanted to just briefly give a synopsis of what Deuteronomy is, or what's going on in Deuteronomy, not what Deuteronomy is. So in Deuteronomy, Moses is speaking the majority of the time, and this section of the Bible is during the birth of Israel. And I got that. I just want to shout out the Chronological Life Application Study Bible is a guidance that I often read, and I've gotten a little history from this Bible that I'm explaining today. Anyways, so during the birth of Israel, there was from Joseph, but moving past Joseph, the 400 years where the Israelites became slaves. And there was a time where Pharaoh believed that they kept multiplying, so he believed that they were going to overpower his community. So he said all of the men must die. Oh, sorry, not all of the men. All of the newborn male boys must die. And so Moses, which is a person of great history, was one of those boys during that time that should have died, but because of the people around him and because of God's grace on his life, he did not die, and his purpose was fulfilled. So he lived his life, he grew up, different things happened. I would suggest reading Exodus, and then in Deuteronomy, we are past all of that, and the Israelites are now free from Egypt. And so once they became free from Egypt, they ended up being in the wilderness for 40 years. And the reason that they were in the wilderness is because of just disobedience towards God and disbelief and not having faith. And so they were in the wilderness for 40 years, but now in this part of Deuteronomy, they are about to arrive to the promised land. This is the land that they were promised before they left Egypt. And so they are finally about to make it to the promised land. And Moses has some tips and some history and it's just reminding them of the promises of God in their lives. And so that was a long explanation on where we are now in regards to chapter 4, verse 29. And so verse 29, the first word in verse 29 is but. So with but, we always know there's something before. And so right before this but was Moses explaining the consequences of having false idols, the consequences of having idolatry in regards to their beliefs and having physical idols or other people as idols and reminding us that God, or the Israelites, that God is a jealous God, and so we should not have false idols. But so he explained an example of where we had false idols, because that happened. The Israelites had false idols. But it says, but if from there you seek the Lord your God. And that phrase, but if from there you seek the Lord your God, or but if from there you search for the Lord your God. So in that statement, you can be in a place where you have idolatry. You could be in a place where you are sinning. You could be wherever you are. You could be there. But if you start searching for God, if you stop at that place and seek God, then you have another opportunity. And so I have three points. And this first point is you are always welcome back. Like, it just reminds us that if you see God, that means if you do this, the next part is God will find, you will find him if you seek him. So if you do this, if you just search for him, if you just seek him, you will find him. That means God has always been there. God is always there. He has not left us. Even if we have left him, he is still there waiting on us. And so that first point is you're always welcome back. Truly, my first point is don't have idols, but we're going to say you're always welcome back is the first point. From there, wherever there is, whatever the sin is, whatever the location is, you're always welcome back. No matter where there is, you're welcome. The second point is reading further. You will find him if you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul is the rest of the sentence. And so you will find him is the point I want to focus on. You will find him. If you seek him, you will find him. If you seek him, you will find him. That means God wants to be known by us. He is there. He is excited and willing and a eager participant in being known by us. He is knowable. All we have to do is seek for him. All we have to do is desire to want to know him, and we can know him. And so the second point is God is knowable and wants to be known, but we have to want him. So the final point I want to go on is the results is you will find him the results is you will find him. If you seek him with all your heart, you will find him. So the point is a relationship, right? When I look for somebody and I start to learn more about this person and understand their moods and their highs and their lows and what makes them tick, I am building a relationship with them. And by building that relationship with them, there is some reward. Now, with another person, the reward can be minimal, but with God, we know that the reward is great. And so, pretty much the point that I wanted to make is God rewards those who pursue a relationship with Him with everything. So God made a point, or not God, but Moses is speaking. Moses made a point to say, with all your heart and with all your soul. That point of we can't be halfway in regards to seeking this relationship. We have to be all in and wanting to know who God is. We have to be all our soul is our mind, our will, and our emotions. Everything within us. We have to seek God in an urgent way. We have to seek God in a way that we desire to know Him. And once we seek Him in that way, we already know, as I said before, He's there ready to be, or ready to have a connection with us, ready to have a relationship with us. That is pretty much all I want to say about this verse. Like I said, Deuteronomy is a chapter filled with different wisdoms and different guidances told by Moses to the Israelites, and I would suggest reading about it. I would suggest actually learning about the life of Moses as he walked the earth and how God used him in ministry, how God used him within the Israelite people, and how He used him even in the weaknesses, even in Moses' weaknesses, even when Moses believed that he couldn't do it, how He encouraged him, he being God, how God encouraged him, and how God pushed him to be the man that he is known to us today. So we are all great. God uses the meager. God uses everyone, the weak, for His glory. And so as I sit here today, concluding this Bible study, as I said, it's Deuteronomy 4:29. I read the NIV version and the NLT version. I encourage you to get into the Bible, and I pray that you too seek God more, learn more about who He is and what His desires are for you in your life, and how he has set goals and plans for your life. God is the greatest Father ever, the greatest friend ever, and He wants to be known by us. So I encourage you to know Him. I don't want to conclude again. I felt like this is my third conclusion, but I definitely pray that you have a blessed week, that it is filled with joy, and that your family is safe, and that this weekend, or not this weekend since it's over, but that next week is filled with joy and greatness, that you seek God and that you find Him in every step, in every moment and step that you seek Him. Blessings to you, blessings to your family. Have a great evening.